When I first moved into Maplewood Estates, I thought I'd found peace. The kind of suburban calm where sprinklers hiss in rhythm, kids ride bikes till sunset, and every mailbox looks cloned from the same glossy catalog. After years of city chaos, the silence felt earned, like finally exhaling after holding your breath too long. I wasn't after luxury or attention, just a corner of the world where rules made sense. Pay your dues, mow your lawn, respect the boundaries. Easy. My small ranch house sat under a pair of old oaks that hummed in the summer wind. Simple, steady, predictable. For months, life followed that comforting rhythm. Weekend barbecues, quiet evenings tinkering in my garage, nothing dramatic. But peace, I've learned, never lasts long when an HOA is involved, and certainly not when a shiny white Tesla rolls into the driveway next door, humming like the storm it's about to bring. She introduced herself as Deborah, but within days, everyone called her Karen. Platinum hair, diamond earrings big enough to signal planes, and a voice that could peel paint off fences. She had that practiced smile, half charm, half warning label. Within 2 weeks, Deborah had joined every HOA committee she could find. Within 6, she'd somehow become vice president. Her secret? A deadly cocktail of flattery, manipulation, and Chardonnay-fueled dinner parties. If charm were currency, she was a billionaire. She'd wander the neighborhood with a clipboard like a suburban sheriff, snapping photos of violations, mailboxes too faded, hedges too high, garden gnomes not within aesthetic guidelines. Most neighbors kept quiet. After all, nobody wanted trouble with a woman who basically was the HOA. At first, I stayed out of it. I paid my dues, kept my head down. But something about that Tesla gleaming under her garage light made my instincts twitch. That car wasn't just shiny, it was trouble on wheels. A month later, my electric bill arrived, and I nearly dropped my coffee. $480. My usual, $150. I thought it was a mistake. I checked my water heater, HVAC, even unplugged my fridge for a day. Nothing changed. Curious, asked my neighbors. Their bills were normal. So why was mine spiking like a stock chart before a crash? Then came the first clue. One evening, as I mowed my lawn, I noticed a faint orange cord running along the fence line, half hidden under the approved shrubs she had recommended planting. I followed it, heart pounding, straight to her side yard. The cord disappeared into her Tesla charger. At first, I laughed in disbelief. But laughter faded fast when I realized this wasn't a one-time thing. My neighborly HOA queen was literally siphoning power from my outdoor outlet every single night. And that's when the real game began. That night, I armed my security cameras and waited. At 2:14 a.m., the motion alert pinged my phone. I opened the feed, and there she was. Deborah, in silk pajamas and heels, sneaking across my lawn like a thief in a luxury commercial. She plugged in her Tesla, checked for witnesses, and strutted back like she'd just done the Lord's work. The next morning, I knocked on her door, phone in hand, video ready. Care to explain this? I asked. Her eyes flicked to the screen, and without missing a beat, she smiled. That could be anyone, she said, voice sugary sweet. Besides, if your system's so fragile that a little usage breaks it, maybe you should upgrade. Then she added, oh, and your hedges? 2 inches above regulation height. She slammed the door in my face. That's when I realized she didn't just steal electricity, she thought she owned it. 2 days later, I got an official violation notice from the HOA. Unauthorized exterior modification, it read. Apparently, the lock I'd put on my outdoor outlet disrupted community aesthetics. I attended the next HOA meeting to explain, but Deborah shut me down before I could finish. Personal disputes aren't for this forum, she said sweetly. Submit your complaint in writing. Everyone nodded along like hypnotized goldfish. From that day forward, my mailbox was a target. Every week, new violations: lawn too tall, garage door too old, bird feeder not approved. She was using the rule book like a weapon. I could have quit. I could have called an attorney. But as an electrical engineer, I preferred a different approach. I wasn't going to out-argue her. I was going to outthink her. That night, as rain drummed against my window, I opened my laptop and began designing what I later called Project SPS, Smart Power Shield. My system would detect any unauthorized power usage, log every watt drawn, and, if tampered with, cut current instantly after a series of loud, flashing warnings. 100% legal, 100% safe, 100% effective. Over the next few days, I transformed my garage into a mini lab. Wires, voltage meters, code diagrams. This was my battlefield now. The system wasn't meant to harm anyone. It was designed to teach a lesson. When it was ready, I installed it inside a weatherproof box by my outlet, complete with a glowing red sign, protected by smart power shield. Unauthorized use may damage connected devices. It wasn't a threat. It was a warning. As I tested the system that night, LEDs blinked rhythmically across the control board. Everything worked perfectly. I remember smiling as I watched the rain reflect off her Tesla's hood. If she tried again, and I knew she would, the storm wouldn't come from the sky. It would come from me. It took less than 3 nights. At 1:58 a.m., my camera caught her again. Robe, slippers, that same smug expression. She squinted at the new red warning sign, rolled her eyes, and plugged in anyway. The system beeped 3 times. A bright yellow light blinked beside the outlet. Warning 1. Warning 2. Warning 3. Instead of unplugging, she scoffed, and on her Tesla screen, she manually cranked the charge rate to maximum. The SPS detected the surge and did exactly what it was designed to do. A brief voltage fluctuation, then instant power cutoff. Through the feed, I saw her jump back, startled. The Tesla lights flickered once, then went completely dark. She tapped the screen, confused. The car didn't respond. Her $90,000 luxury ride had just become the most expensive paperweight in the neighborhood. At sunrise, the pounding started. "Open this door, you psycho," she screamed. I opened it slowly, coffee in hand. Her Tesla sat dead in the driveway, dashboard flashing red error codes. "You destroyed my car. That's $20,000 of damage," she yelled. Calmly, I handed her a printed manual. The system is certified, legal, and fully compliant. It warns 3 times before cutting power. You ignored all of them. Her husband appeared, tie half done, eyes tired. He skimmed the papers, then looked at her. You ignored the warnings. Her jaw tightened. "He's lying. Not according to the video footage," I said, showing him the clip. His face sank. That was the moment the HOA queen lost her crown. A week later, the community hall overflowed. Nearly every homeowner was there. I connected my laptop to the projector and hit play. Videos, data logs, timestamps, everything. For 6 months, I said, "This woman used my power," and later, the HOAs, costing us all hundreds in extra fees. Yes, murmurs. Then applause when I showed the footage of her ignoring the warnings. Deborah tried to interrupt, but the crowd had turned. The president called for a vote, immediate removal from HOA board, repayment of $6,800 in misuse electricity funds, and a ban from holding future office. The result? Unanimous. For the first time, her perfect smile cracked. Within 2 weeks, the Harringtons' house was on the market. No farewell parties. No sympathy cards. Just silence. The new board, led by actual decent people, installed proper EV chargers with individual meters. Fair, transparent, and built to code. I even helped design them. Sometimes power isn't about voltage, it's about respect. Deborah wanted free energy. Instead, she paid $20,000 for repairs, $6,800 in restitution, and lost her so-called kingdom. Now, every time I plug in my tools, I glance at that outlet and smile. Because sometimes karma doesn't need lightning, it just needs a good engineer.